all the way coast to coast, north to south. We've got some Canada residents that are joining us this morning, and I am coming in like I'm barely moving because our Wi-Fi is so in disarray. So I hope, Coach, if I blank out or something, just roll with it.
Okay.
I couldn't even, I type all my stuff up and I could not even print it out this morning because of our Wi-Fi. So I had a phone and I'm going to be really still. Okay. But it's great because our topic today, our word for the day is fear. It's fear. And really what happened to me like 10 minutes ago goes hand in hand with what I was going to say today. And so, you know, fear is something that we all have in our life. It's something we all encounter. Most of us encounter it either on a day-to-day basis or on a weekly basis or on a monthly basis, without a doubt. But when you look up the definition of fear, fear dictates the actions fear is an unpleasant emotion, okay? I don't think anybody loves fear. It's an unpleasant emotion, and it's caused by belief that someone or something is dangerous. It's likely to cause pain or it's a threat. How many of you would agree with that? I mean, we've all experienced fear. But the thing, when I looked at this word, I went straight to something that I've been taught before by people that are a lot smarter than me. A lot of my reading. So I went back and I pulled up some things. And here's what fear dictates action every time. Think about it. Every time you feel fear, every time I feel fear, it dictates action of some sort. And here's what I'd like to say this morning. If you're taking notes or you're thinking about this, anytime fear happens for us, we freeze, we fight, or we flight, or we fright. Okay? Now I want you to think about this now. Think about when fear happens, like when something like makes you nervous. Maybe you're in sales and it's a phone call. I'm scared. I'm fearful. Like there's a little nervous, like my chest is going boom, 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 boom. Okay? Maybe I'm a football coach and I'm about to take the field on Friday night and I got to call plays. And my heart's like this because, man, what happens if we lose? What happens if I don't call a good play? There's fear. We've all got fear in our life. So sometimes it could be, you know, I say this, and here's my analogy. You know, a fearful moment is when you read an email from your company saying there's going to be a layoff. So I think the first thing in fear is there's a freeze. You freeze, you stop, you analyze. It is an action. You're taking action. But I want to drift you over to a place that we're all living in right now. Just a few weeks ago, several weeks ago, we had something hit us in the world with this coronavirus. And the first thing most of us did, there was a little bit of fear. For a lot of us, there might have been a lot of fear. And we froze. We took the action of freezing, watching news, reading the paper, reading magazines, reading articles. You freeze for a little bit. But then once you realize what's going on around you, there's a choice. Some choose to fight and some choose to flight. Okay? And it's not that either one of them's bad, you know. Sometimes it's good to flight. Sometimes it's good to get out of there. But sometimes it's good to fight. And I think about what we're doing right here this morning. We're choosing to fight, okay, in a good way. Get together, meet, share, spend a little power source moment together Monday through Friday. And I went, man, this works hand in hand. So at first, we froze. We looked at things. But then we collectively decided to fight, meaning Go do something positive. Go have a power source moment every morning. There's other things you're doing to fight against this. But then sometimes the last thing I want to say is, and I'm sorry, I'm a little discombobulated. I'm reading on my phone, my notes. When the fear is so overwhelming, you experience fright. The last thing, fright. You neither fight or flee. In fact, you do nothing. You're obsessed with the situation and you're just stuck, paralyzed in a moment of time where nothing happens. I share that with you this morning because this fear thing hit me when I started reading it and what it applies to Brent Palmer today. And I thought, you know, we're all in this position together, right? All of us. The world is. And I think we all froze for a minute when we heard about this. And we started looking and reading and watching and seeing. But then some people decides they're going to fight and they're going to create lemonade out of lemons. Like they're going to make something happen during this time. But then there's people out there. And here's my message for you today as I turn it over to Coach. There's people out there that's froze. They're still watching the news. They're still paralyzed in the moment. They're not taking advantage of this time at home to be better. And I think it's the moment for us collectively on here to go grab them by the hand and say, let me help you. Let me help you get past this moment. How many of you know somebody in your life right now that that's ringing a bell with? That every time you talk to them, they're froze. I challenge you today, understand that they're just having fear in their life, and you could be the person that moves them into a situation. You bring them on here that knocks them out of freeze and allows them to go fight during this time. So that's what it was to me, Coach. It was a great, great word for me today because it just hit home for me. So I'm going to turn it to you.
Yeah, that was outstanding, Coach. Outstanding. And we are all a target of fear. I mean, we all have that happen to us. So, you know, I want to give you just a quick definition that I want to start with. Fear is an unpleasant feeling triggered by the perception of danger, whether that's real or imagined. You know, if you think about it, a lot of our fear we imagine and we bring it upon ourselves. And that's, I think, some of the worst. Fear is attached to many things, but here are 3 things that fear is normally attached to. And again, I put myself in this message 100% because these have attached to me. Anxiety, post-traumatic stress disorder, and separation anxiety. You know, those are 3 pretty solid everyday things that we know. If we haven't experienced it, we definitely know somebody in our family or in our friends that have experienced one of those 3 areas. So what causes fear? The biggest trigger for fear is the threat of harm, you know, real or imagined. So basically, fear can push us to become afraid of nearly anything. I mean, it can push us to be afraid of just about anything that we try to do or what we think about. Now, how do we turn our fear into a positive? That's what we have to focus upon right now. I've got a good friend, Dr. Kevin Elko, and if you don't follow him, I suggest you follow Coach Elko or Dr. Elko. He's an amazing man. So I got this from him, and I do it occasionally. What I do when I try to turn a fear into a positive, I'm going to go look in the mirror and I'm going to say, Myra, so what? Now what? So what? Now what? Well, here's what. I've got to deal with my fear directly. I've got to meet my fear head on and not run from it. I've got to visualize. I use this word quite a bit. I think you've caught on that. I have got to visualize and see myself being unafraid. I have to see myself performing with confidence and competence in whatever area that I'm being fearful. I've got to have confidence to deal with any person or any situation directly that has instilled fear in me. And if you take the 4 letters, F-E-A-R, this is how I break it down, and this is what I look at it. For F, face. E, everything. A, and. R, rise. Face, everything, and rise. It's hard for us to remember that, but this is definitely something that will help us get over the hump when fear paralyzes us. I hope this kind of resonated with everyone today. I know I'm always open to suggestions from anybody on overcoming fear, because it's something that we all honestly deal with every single day of our life, or not every day, but we all deal with it. So I hope everybody has a fantastic Wednesday.
Coach, thank you so much. Wow. So what, now what?
Mm-hmm.
I love that. You know, and I'm going to end with this, because we are living in, I was just talking with our marketing team at our company yesterday. And I said, you know, what we're going through right now, I don't think any of us, looking back, and I know I'm going to end with this, Coach, I don't think any of us would have ever, well, we've never experienced this in our life, and our parents hadn't experienced it, most of our parents, that where you look in Las Vegas and every casino is closed, where you look over in LA and the smog is no more, there's blue skies. Some of it's been a positive, but retail stores closed across. Some of them come into this moment bad times, and they're not going to come out of this moment. Restaurants across the world shut down. This will be talked about 100 years from now. And so many people today are froze. They're at that fearful moment. And as Coach Myra Miles said it the best, fear means, so what, now what? And for a lot of people, they're going to realize that most of their eggs were in one basket. And next time, it's going to teach them that I'm going to look for ways around. So what, now what? Now, next time, I'm going to have a lot of different options. Options is going to be the thing when this hits next time. And so, Coach, again, thank you so much for this topic today. Great for me. It was a great thing for me. If it added value, maybe type value in the chat section. We always like to know if you can just take one thing away from this, one nugget. This is why we do it, because we're doing it as much for us as we are for anybody else, but we want it to add value to you. Thank you for joining us. Guys, let's find one person today, one person that's in that froze status that we could be a word of encouragement for, that we could pull, bring them here tomorrow, okay? Let them be a part of a community of like-minded people. Let's go out and rock Wednesday, guys. Have a great day. Love you. Appreciate you. God bless. Have a good one.
Thank you.
Thank you, guys. That was amazing.
Nice
Thank
day.
you.
Thank